So Harrison Ford did a big interview with The Hollywood Reporter, pretty much covered the whole span of his career, but had to hit up on Indiana Jones 5. Now, Harrison dropped 3 little bombs about Indiana Jones 5, and the real killer was the last one, so stay tuned for that. So the first bomb, and this has been sort of widely reported, is the interviewer said the film had a lot of old indie jokes. It feels like that itself is outdated and that you have settled into who you are now. And Harrison Ford replied, yeah, in The Dial of Destiny, there are a lot of old jokes in the script. We took them all out. Well, first of all, you gotta love these pre-canned, pre-planned interviews. So that question was clearly talked about and planned in advance for Harrison Ford to be able to say that they had been taken out of the script. However, the mere fact that they were in there confirms the previous rumors that were floating about how Phoebe Waller-Bridge's character was constantly going off on Harrison Ford's Indiana Jones for being out of time and out of touch with the current times. And so the gist of the article makes you think that it's old jokes about his age, but you got to think about it real hard. You can't have an entire movie with jokes about how someone is old and decrepit, or they can't see well, or they have to go to the bathroom. And there's a handful of things. You can't have 90 minutes worth of that stuff. And yes, I know it's not going to be every 90 minutes, but the point being is that when they say the old age jokes were full, what they're referring to is that bashing of the character Indiana Jones by Phoebe Waller-Bridge, not necessarily for the age, but for him being out of touch with current forced message sensibilities due to his age. The second thing, however, is not getting a lot of play, but it really, really should. Following right up from that previous statement, Harrison Ford says there is a moment where he, speaking about Indiana Jones, observes himself in this situation and says, what the fuck am I doing here? But I hate what I call talking about the story. I want to see circumstances in which the audience gets a chance to experience the story, not be led through the nose with highlights pointed out to them. I'd rather create behavior that is the joke of age rather than talk about it. So this is incredibly important because basically what Harrison Ford is saying here is show, then tell, which is the entire premise of show business. It is the mantra by which all writers are supposed to live, not actors. In fact, even later in the article, Harrison Ford goes on to point out, or the interviewer points out, that Harrison Ford has pretty much stayed true to acting his whole career. He's not delved off into writing. He's not delved off into directing. He's got maybe 3 or 4 producing credits, and he said that's a joke. So the bottom line is that Harrison Ford knows better how to write a script, what audience sees, what his business is always about, than the writer-director James Mangold. And that statement alone should be cause for concern about the entire script, because at the end of the day, Harrison Ford isn't the writer. He's not going to have the ability to make every single change. He can make glaring obvious ones. He can make a desire to change it like he stated. At the end of the day, he's hired to read the lines. All right, I said it was worth sticking around to the end, and here it is. They go on a little bit more about Indiana Jones 5, and then Harrison Ford drops the big bomb talking about the script. He says it's a very interesting script Jim came up with. Taking a page from Mark Hamill, and regarding the press junket for The Last Jedi, Harrison Ford knows what he's got is a shit sandwich. However, Harrison Ford, a team player, and honestly, probably has some back end on the movie, isn't going to tank the movie from the get-go. Duh, right? However, he's got integrity. So what is the true and time-tested axiom of if you can't say anything nice about a project, don't say anything at all? You use the word interesting. And that's exactly what he did. Furthermore, he didn't say it's an interesting script. He said it's an interesting script Jim, as in James Mangold, came up with, diverting the blame for the ultimate failure, not in the fans' eyes, but in the eyes of the people in Hollywood. This is one of the most crafted and thought out statements that an actor has. Harrison Ford has utilized it. He is letting us all know in advance, this is going to be terrible. It's not my fault. it's the writer's fault. Because honestly, think about this. There's a million different ways that you can express your pride. We have a fantastic script. The script is going to blow people away. Maybe you don't want to set the expectations. The script is going to make a lot of people happy. This, a thousand things. Interesting is the worst word possible. Everybody knows what it means, but I think that's the point. What do you guys think? Let's talk about it. Obey your king. Subscribe to the channel and click the notification icon.